So March is already upon us, and I'm looking at the list of games that are coming out this month. This month is going to be truly something special. Guys, in the comment section below, let me know what games you're most looking forward to playing this month. Holy cow, too many games, or so many games, so little time. Also, let me know if I missed any games that are coming out this month. Definitely leave a comment in the section below so I can add it in the video description. So let's go ahead and get started with the games that are coming out for the month of March. And first up, we have on March 2nd, The Pit People. Now, Pit People is actually coming out on the Xbox One and the PC. It's being brought to us by the same folks that are responsible for Castle Crashers and also Battle Block Theater. And Pit People, though, it is a strategy game, definitely different gameplay mechanics, gameplay type of game, but it definitely has that same art style that you would be accustomed to with Battle Block Theater and Castle Crashers. A definite sense of humor, tongue-in-cheek. They don't take themselves too seriously. I'll be definitely checking this one out. There's not a whole lot of strategy games being released. It could be some fun. Okay, on March 6th, we have a PSVR game, and that is Bravo Team. And this is actually a first-person shooter VR game. I was looking at some of the gameplay. It looks somewhat decent, although I was checking out some of the previews for the game, people that actually have had hands-on with the game, and a couple of them, you know, while they were impressed with the trailer, they weren't too impressed with the gameplay, and they thought, in fact, it could be improved. We'll have to wait and see on that. Coming out on March 6th, we have Final Fantasy 15, the Royal Edition, which is coming out on the Xbox One, PS4, and the PC. And this is the Final Fantasy 15 with all of the DLC add-on, and also it's going to include some new features. So if you haven't picked up Final Fantasy 15, now's actually a good time because you get all that DLC, all that add-on content, and some new features. And so, you know, you have PS4, Xbox One, PC that is coming out on. Coming out on March 6th on the PS4, we have Frantic. And this is actually an interesting title. It is a multiplayer game, kind of like a couch party game, where your controller, you play it on your PS4, but your controllers are your smartphones. And which is actually kind of smart. If you've got some friends over that really aren't gamers, but you want to play a game with them, they break out their smartphones for their controllers, and they play a variety of games, and which is kind of cool because in the sense that a lot of people are so addicted to their phones, like, hey, yeah, I'll if I can use my phone, sure, I'm all in. So that is coming out March 6th. Also coming out on March 6th is Scribble Notes. Scribble Notes Showdown, which is going to be coming out on the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. A lot of you guys are familiar with the Scribble Notes series. This one, though, is kind of focused on multiplayer minigames. It has a variety of minigames to choose from, and it's got, of course, that kind of art style or look that you've been accustomed to with Scribble Notes. So it could be fun. There could be some fun minigames to play with your friends for this title. And finally, on March 6th, we also have Fear Effect Sedna, which is coming out on the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. Now, of course, there are a couple different Fear Effects games, at least two I know of, that are released on the PS1. This, although it isn't those games are like kind of action adventure titles, this one is kind of like more of like a top-down shooter, and it definitely has the same type of cutscenes, animation cutscenes in this title as well, but it just has a different gameplay style to it. Where it's, if you're a fan of top-down shooters, this one looks like it actually could be a whole lot of fun. Okay, coming out on March 13th is the Devil May Cry HD Collection, which is coming out on the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. This is actually going to have the three. It's going to have Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. There was already Devil May Cry 4 remastered like several years ago on Steam, and maybe other, I think maybe even PS4 and Xbox One got it. But this one actually is only going to have the 3 Devil May Cry games. This is actually a really legendary series. A whole lot of fans are you know, it was only a matter of time before Capcom released this. Of course, they got Mega Man and other games, Resident Evil games on the PS4 and Xbox One. It totally makes sense that they're doing this. So if you're a fan of Devil May Cry and want to play the game on current consoles and the PC, that is available on March 13th. Also available on the PSVR on March 13th is Golem. And Golem is this game. It takes place, the setting is you are in this accident and your mobility, you're in your bed, you can't go anywhere, but you get this ability where you can actually transfer to these magical golems, and you can kind of view the world or interact with different areas in these golems. So even though unfortunately you're in this tragic situation, you can't move, you can then kind of transport yourself to these golems and be kind of in like these fantasy sci-fi type scenarios. Kind of interesting. Coming out on March 16th, you have the Nintendo Switch title Kirby Star Allies. This one looks very colorful, very fun. If you're a fan of the Kirby series, just a fun pick up and game series that I'm a big fan of Kirby. This one looks like it could be a whole lot of fun on the Nintendo Switch. Coming out, this one I'm really excited for, March 16th, is Burnout Paradise Remastered. It's coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One. I had this one on the Xbox 360. I have it currently on Steam. It is a very fun. It's the Burnout series was known for this massive destructible environments, or be able to, not environments, but be able to take down other cars. This one though is open world. It is fantastic. Definitely check it out if you have not played Burnout Paradise. Coming out on March 20th, speaking of remasters, we have Assassin's Creed Rogue. Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered. And this one was out on the PS3 and Xbox 360 first. Then they brought it out like a month or two later. They brought it out on PC. And now you can play it on the PS4 and Xbox One starting March 20th. It's a decent, somewhat decent Assassin's Creed game. Again, like with Capcom releasing other games, Ubisoft, when you kind of bring out games that have not, to a new audience, to new consoles. Coming in on March 20th also is Attack on Titan 2. And Attack on Titan 2 is coming out on the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch. Attack on Titan, the first one, it came out on I know at least the PS4 and Xbox One. Worldwide, that first one sold around 700,000 copies. So I'd imagine, the sequel, they're hoping that, with a larger user base, that it'll even do better. Of course, this is an anime series that's wildly successful, huge fan base around the world. And now you've got a new game coming out for consoles and the Switch and the PC. Coming out also on March 20th, you have the Xbox One and the PC, Sea of Thieves. Now, a lot of people are super excited for this. Just go upon the open seas, explore, go find treasure, enter in these ship battles, get your friends together online and just have a blast. On Twitch, when this game had its beta on Twitch, it was wildly successful. For several days, it was like the most watched game on Twitch, or it just had a huge following. A lot of people were watching on Twitch, and so I could see a lot of people who play Sea of Thieves. There's going to be a lot of Twitch streamers that are going to take this online and to their audience, and I could see this being a really successful Twitch title. We have also on March 20th, Titan Quest, coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One. This is interesting, Titan Quest. So this is an action RPG, and if you're familiar with, of course, like Diablo or even like the Sacred games, kind of like a top-down RPG game, this is like, for those of you that aren't familiar, this is a title that was released on the PC in 2006. So like around almost 12 years ago, came out I think June of 2006. So it's been around 12 years since this was released. It's coming out now. So I know there's a lot of remasters or whatever, but this is an oldie. It still looks decent. When it was released on the PC, good looking game, decent game first time, but it's one of those games, if you're a fan of the like Diablo, hack and slash, collecting loot, or Sacred, definitely check out Titan Quest. Coming out on March 23rd for the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC is A Way Out. And of course, for those of you guys that checked out EA's conference of releases and games, the executive producer, I believe, of The Way Out, he's very flamboyant and he's hilarious. He's very funny. He did like a presentation on this game. This is a co-op third-person adventure action game where you're in prison, you're trying to break a way out. This one, though, it's all about the co-op, solving these puzzles, getting from point A to point B, not by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. You have to have your buddy with you. And so this one is just going to be all about solving problems and getting out of there, getting to freedom in co-op. So this one actually looks pretty decent. I'm kind of excited for A Way Out. Also on March 23rd, we have Detective Pikachu on the 3DS, where you go around, you have to solve a case, you go around collecting clues, getting intel. This, I mean, it's a Pokemon game, but kind of a different Pokemon game. It's on the 3DS, of course, worldwide. It's going to probably sell millions. I think there's, if I'm not wrong, I think there's also going to be like a Detective Pikachu movie. But this is a game coming out on the 3DS in a few weeks. Also on March 23rd, a game that one of my top picks for this month on the PS4 and the PC is Ninokuni 2 Remnant Kingdom. Huge fan of Ninokuni Wrath of the White Witch on PS3. This one, the sequel, Ninokuni 2, looks beautiful. If you are a fan of JRPGs, it has like a battle style that kind of rings true, or like is familiar with like the Tales or Star Ocean, where you enter these battles and there's multiple enemies around, but you can kind of go and select. It's not as fast paced as like the Tales or the Star Ocean, whether you kind of line up your character like, okay, this is what I'm going to use for this against this enemy. But it's definitely a whole lot of fun, and the animation and music is A+, top notch. Definitely a game if you want to sink in, a couple dozen hours and just dive right into a great story. I'm super excited for Ninokuni 2. Also on March 23rd, we have for the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC, Pure Farming Simulator 2018. And this, of course, farming simulators have been around for a little while, and there's a following. These simulator games, everyone wanted to run your own farm. There's an audience for that. There's a game for that. Coming out also, I believe it doesn't actually have a date. Apologize, I'll include this date in the video description below. Atelier Linde and Suel, The Alchemist and the Mysterious. The Atelier series has been out for a very long time. It's a JRPG. I really haven't had a whole lot of time with this series, but it's coming out on the PS4. It might be coming out on the PC. For those of you guys that are familiar with the Atelier series, let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts on it are. On March 27th, another one of my picks, which is coming out on the PC, Xbox One, and PS4, is Far Cry 5. I loved Far Cry 4. Also, Far Cry 3 is fantastic. Far Cry 2. I didn't really have a whole lot of experience with Far Cry 1, but Far Cry 5, this one is going to be awesome. I was checking out some gameplay today for some of the co-op they can do with Far Cry 5. Super excited for it. It's interesting, with the Far Cry games, they just have this, of course, there's a lot of open world games out there, but I love the sense of humor that are in these games. And I could see, this takes place, I think, in Montana, and there's some people with not the best decision-making capabilities. It looks like it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be like a great ride. Definitely be on the lookout for Far Cry 5 for March 27th. Also on March 27th is MLB The Show 2018. Of course, this is coming out on the PS4. I was doing some research, and apparently, past several years, the show on the PS4 has sold at least 1 million copies. So they've, Sony, they have the license for this MLB baseball game, and they're going to just keep cranking these games out for I'm not sure how many more years. But there's definitely a following for this show. They always, for the most part, score well. But yeah, I got another one coming out this month. And finally, on March 30th, we have the survival horror game Agony, which is coming out on the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. And dude, this game looks super, super freaky. I mean, in the words of Rick James, it looks super freaky. It looks like you're in hell. It's like burning. There's just really crazy things going on. And it is a survival horror game. So there you go, guys. There are games coming out for March. Let me know in the comment section below what you're most looking forward to. And if you like these types of videos, definitely slap that thumbs up button so I can know to make more. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you later.